Today is April 12th, 2025. Okay. Last night, outside where I was working, I could hear the people drive by, you could hear their voices, and then I started talking. I know my phone's bugged. I know they sold the login. Okay. About how I got sick, how I got well, that the surgeries and medication errors, then the medical malpractice almost killed me, the 9 months of slowly getting well. Then Strange making up that lie, okay, when he thought I was following Tim and Katie, and then how they pushed Danny to suicide and nailed my mom's tires till she moved away. Okay, then I go to where the money disappears from the safe to the 4 attempts on my life, to us moving out there, and then someone kicking on my door, then waking up with bruises, throwing up, heart racing, almost passing out, severely infected. Or taking a drink out of a Diet Coke. Same thing. Nobody thought of a rapist, and I was going to Adult Family Physicians all summer long of 2018 for all the signs of being drugged, being raped, and I'm blaming the dirty well water. You don't remember with those kind of drugs. Okay. And then the bad people showing up, and then calling the FBI, and that guy telling on me before he talked to me, to all the churches that he told over 1,000 people. And then confessed on a record line he met with all of them, mocking me, being cruel. Made fun of me for some guy named Pete. I didn't even know who he was. And then some doctor selling her information. It didn't make sense. And I thought, well, maybe it's one the lady that used my insurance, the insurance fraud. It's just a big scam. The guy works for them. They've already came out and confessed. Okay. And then made me beg for my life, and then list me informant with money immunity, then threatened me if I would tell. Like people said in Cuyahoga Falls, we all know Will was trying to keep her quiet, so that he could just steal the money now. We realize that. Because he's already told all those people. And he doesn't have the authority. Okay? Alright, so, then I went through what, from facing the stalkers to that old white man showing up, trying to claim he had sodium pentothal, reports had stabbed me with another Dave rape drug, told and threatened me if I dare left Dave, and I had a big bruise on my leg and I was sick that morning, and when I went down to Walmart 62 in front of the cops and the FBI, he came up and he said, for every idle word you tell on us, I'll turn it. Da 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 da. And you know, I use sodium pentothal. No, he stuck me with a date rape drug in my sleep. Okay? You sleepwalk with those drugs. Over 10 or 20 prescriptions in high doses will make you sleepwalk. Let alone the illegal ones. Okay? No memory. It's something about a wrong night on bowling. I don't know, I got away from that freak, went home to a legally bugged house, and Dave debunked it. And they bragged how we had bruises before, throwing up, and in fact it was us. We were drug being raping you. That's what caused it. It wasn't the water. We had drugged you and told you to say this. We drugged you and told you to say that. We photoshopped all our lies. That's how they put it, was all their lies. Raised some guy named Chris. We never had Chris in my house. They talked about him though. Okay? And then kept it up of different scenarios. Okay? Or what they had done to me. I used to run a vomit to find out people were harming me, and it wasn't that where the doctor thought I was becoming severely anemic because I had all those bruises, giving me iron pills, motion relaxers, um, stuff for headaches, nauseousness. Okay, then severe swollen personal infection. I had lost 18 pounds before I called the FBI. Never seen her talk to anybody. You talk about scary movie to find out sexual predators had sold you on porn sites, had took a video of you showering, washing yourself, and put it in another room in their perverted stocking tapes. Had drugged you up, and they even laughed in my face in front of the police and feds. They had drugged me and told me to say word on molester stuff. I was very sick. I used to vomit. I never seen her talk to anybody. How would you like to take a drink out of a Diet Coke in the room, go dizzy and black? And hours later, what on earth happened? Got bruises on you, throwing up, dizzy, almost passing out, and a severe swollen personal infection. The only thing new to you is that dirty well water you're showering in. Or wake up with injection marks and hand marks embedded in my arm that are bigger than mine, around my neck. Orange, lemon, grapefruit-sized bruises all over me. The drugs and told us they were human trafficking me out of that house under drugs. These sick satanic people. Okay? Okay. Okay. I told you the guy that moved in my old apartment, I think it's one of my rapists. He looked at me this morning and went, my new husband's in him. Do it. Looking at me, making those faces at me. He had, and I heard other neighbors, he's went to them. He's telling people that a doctor taped me before, unaware, confessing the drugs and told us they already confessed that years ago. Years ago. Years ago. They even made fun of everyone in the FBI for falling for it. Years ago. Admitted to framing me years ago. How many times? How many times? So he thinks if he just comes down here, and the people that have been around me for 6 years were here when I moved in 19. Who was here in Louisville? The drug traders from Florida that worked for Judge Peter. Henry Maffei's group with them. Who was here? The Fentanyl Kingsmen. Who was here? The Michelle and Lauren. Pregnant, they were still for them. Who was here? In just Louisville. Who wasn't here? They told people that a drug lord took care of me. The king. That's what the king, his men, takes care of. Why would a king care about her? She doesn't have nice enough clothes to wear to meet a king. Why would he care about her? People in town would talk like that. That's that one that king takes care of. Oh, they talked about Ravenna Courthouse, Maslin, Macedonia, everywhere. Okay. So they were here when they admitted on May 25th, 21, of the church people breaking in before, drugging me, and telling me to say word on molester stuff. That's not funny. I had 2 witnesses on my phone and another neighbor knew it. The whole town was talking about it. I'm 21. Even that Michelle and Lauren came down on Fairland Street and were screaming it at the people from Ravenna involved in this. Are you crazy? You can't enter a dark confession. Well, we just found out they drugged her and told her to say it before. Bullshit. You knew in 18. Okay? the shower scene in the other room, let's see, was in 21 also. They've been framing me in 22. How many times? I go over all the dates, all the time. The bullet from the case. Under police surveillance. How many times? All the time. Then my whole family defended me. The FBI even announcing with the police that they had caught Melissa telling the kids to lie on Thanksgiving of 18. The kids were caught stating they made everything up, that they're documented me games of pretend, that John defended me, that she'd only have it make out because of the divorce, going to be moving out. But trust me, Mom, nobody could ever say anything bad about you. Nor just be mad up because of the divorce. She'll have her church people make up something too, but don't worry about it. Nobody could ever say anything bad about you. The police and FBI taped him. Then, Dave, Karen, you're good to the kids, you're good to the grandkids, you would never hurt anyone. This is Thanksgiving of 18, and like a day after for Dave. Okay? They're a couple days after. He's defending me. You're good to the kids, you're good to the grandkids, you never hurt anyone. You're good to everyone, no matter who it is. Okay? And then the FBI showing up. Why are they having those kids make that shit up? Oh, they're just trying to scare her out of the house. That's it. We interviewed her whole family. They spoke highly of her. They've even admitted March 23rd, 23 in Walmart 62 that they told these people to stay out of it. They interviewed my whole family a long time ago. And no one's ever seen anything. She never hurt anyone. It's just some lady thought she could make money out of it. Where they try to tell you she's an investigator, real investigator, have FBI case. A real attorney will tell you to go to jail for this. It's just some lady. Where it came out, like, what was it? December 23, 1st of January 24, in Alliance. When the case first started, we found out Karen's ex-husband was keeping her so drugged up there. They were drug beating, raping her. She wasn't even realizing what was happening. And they said it was some judge messed up in the drug cartel. And they wanted his drug connections and for everyone to stay out of this. We found out it's just some guy saying he's a judge. The Pete. The real Judge Peter, his group was from Florida. The Henry Moffey, the Gentleman's Club from Florida, the big truck guys. They even told people there, dear God. You know that agent opened a real case, a protected custody case with statements on a threat and attempt to life for an FBI informant. My phone's legally bugged. My car's legally bugged. My home's. I have a police officer documenting everything every day. Okay? And, you gotta think they're following me around Walmart for the threat of life case. You know they have button cameras. They're police surveillance. What happens? People walk up. And what do they say? Who they work for and what crimes they're doing. You should see their faces. One to take after one and another. They would brag their crimes around me. And then it became an oh my God. And they're going everywhere after them. Okay? Like they said, the way that agent set it up, they don't even need her. It's been taped by the sheriffs. Oh, and the FBI. With a coroner. For protected custody cases with statements. No quarter. With threat and attempt to life. And it went into being part of their mega nationwide human trafficking scam. Okay. we were part of their mega case. Caught under police surveillance. That's where the U.S. Marshals used it. January 20th, 23. Okay. They showed up. My friend Maddie had a friend on the police department 2.5 hours away. Knew about my case, knew about the Texas group involved in it. And all these men came in and sat around. I thought, you're not my regular officers. What'd you do? Bring your police department? No, we brought the U.S. Marshals. I found out. And when they left, they said, boy, we're going to be taking care of it. That agent left her there. Can you imagine? He left her there. And then he flat out lied to him. Now, March 1st to 3rd of 21, they said they put 2 clips together, put her in a porn. It's not her, it's them. And then they started saying stuff that never happened. It made my stomach bleed. It's like, what else did you do to me? Then I thought they're playing me. They put my head on somebody else's body, it's clipped together. Then I got to thinking, what would you be doing? Sounds like you undressed and got in the shower and you're washing yourself. Even Matt guessed that. Washing. It's like showering. I go outside to smoke. She figured out what they did. May 12th, 22 at noon, and May 26th, 22 at noon, the shower scene was done on purpose to make it look weird. Eric confessed one of the drug dealers November 18, 22. All the tapes before were him and not me and done for a stunt. For people to turn on me, they fell for it. Danny and Jen, they did not, and the kids did not know about the button cameras. They did not know about a shower scene to make me look weird with myself washing yourself in the shower. Photoshopped and stocking tapes. They didn't know people were drug and beating me and drugging me and telling me say stuff either. They only knew I had bruises, throwing up, and almost passing out. But like Jen said, I didn't think about it. They defended me. When I told them people were making up weirdo molester stuff on me, you know what she said? Boy, they would be lying with that one. I said, well, I call them the Pinocchio group, the liar, liar, pants on fire cult. She said that anybody said you did anything wrong, they would be lying, and their pants would burst in flames. Danny's like, where on earth would they get that one from? Yeah. My whole family defended me to the FBI and the police. 18. February to March of 22 in Navarre, they told the client's neighbor next to where I was working that Pete ordered everything to be drugged, photoshopped, and made up on me. She told the Canton FBI. They told Ed at the Oakland apartment December 9, 21, 4 p.m. that all the tapes before were them and not me. It's just a bunch of men doing crimes here. They made a frame of me March 24, 22. The drugs and told us at 8, 9, 21. Apartment building foreman, second close offense, later the little girls lived there. 1295 Maryland, little white lady screaming. I've talked to several people in 21. Memorial Day weekend of 21 at Michelle and Lauren. One of them came down in a blue car. I watched them drive by. Yelled at the people from Ravenna. Are you crazy? You can't enter a drug confession. Well, we just found out they drugged her and told her to say it before. They acknowledged that in 21. January 19th, 22, Department of Disability. They told them I was drugged and told to say it before. February 2nd, 22, a Latino man admitted it in Burlington Coat Factory. A Ravenna investigator found out, I was seeing her out today, found out that bastard really did drug her and tell her to say it before. They were screaming it on the streets of Canton. Okay? August of 23, Officer Mark said his document verified I was framed before and it was a drug cartel in my home before. His document verified it was medication that made her sick before, and another woman was even using her insurance. There's a lot more of dates and times. Okay? Alright. That guy where back on March 30th, 25. I'm laying here like I am in my room. I have my window open. He's out there telling the neighbors that he was there personally when they went and talked to that agent. Okay? And where that church is sending out emails asking people to harm me or show up and harass me to make sure I get nothing. His religious group was there first. Where she's seen a man follow around, she said she's seen him before. 18. He said fake law enforcement. That it was one of his religious group men. Okay? They have been there since the beginning. I'm telling you, it's going to end up being the fake FBI agents, fake Portage County sheriffs, the people that tortured me. Okay? And when, now they admitted it wasn't my doctor, March 27th, 25, middle of the night after midnight, the guy that dated Michelle broke up with her and was announcing it outside. Told other investigators a couple days later, and a heavyset white lady admitted it wasn't one of my doctors. And that he had told them that he works for them. Okay? Okay? And that was April 3rd, 25. And sure, heavyset white lady. Okay? One of the guys told him, he told him that that doctor's not hers. He works for them. They need to take care of him for telling him. He's not even hers. Well, that's what he's been telling people. Okay? Last week I was in Walmart, West Tusk. Lady was on the phone. They did confess that that doctor is not even one of hers. Okay. The police watched me, honey. Okay. Well, he admitted he was in defrauding that agent where Lighthouse Tabernacle made fun of FBI agent John, June 7th, 23, how they pulled him with a stun and tasted for. Oh, come on now, FBI agent John fell for the stun and tasted for. You're kidding. It's only a stunt. You mean that agent actually fell for it? Was only a stunt. Henry drug beat right. Photoshop said a fake crime was only a stunt to Nicole. Mocking him in Walmart 62. The sheriffs have announced in uniform they have a tape of them mocking Agent John for this. Okay? So that guy is in there. He's breaking to the neighbors on March 30th, 25. That he was in there defrauding that agent personally. His religious group was one of the first ones that showed up to help out when that church sent out emails asking people to harm me or harass me to make sure I got nothing. Okay? And he was even in that office. When that doctor asked her, or when that agent asked her about that doctor, she said she didn't know who he was. He's not my doctor. He sounded like a loon. Okay? That agent knew she was lying. He turned her back over, just said he didn't care what they did to her. Da 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 da. That's illegal. 14th Amendment cannot withhold protection. Can't see somebody's money but due process of law. You have to be found guilty and sued for it. Then found guilty in that court. And awarded through the court system. You just don't get a court order signed over to get my money. That's a lie. Okay. He, but he confessed he was part of it. And then I got to thinking where he said that one guy that was following me and my husband. I told him he was around me in 18. He said it was one of his religious guy. I remember him telling people he was law enforcement. He's either a fake Portage County sheriff or a fake FBI agent. Then I got to thinking, if it was his men, religious men, at Faith Alien Church, now the real Judge Peters men from Florida showed up. They said they worked for Judge Peters. They were from Florida. Okay? They had amnesia drugs. They could use on people, control anybody for 4 to 6 hours. Okay? That's where that Michelle showed up. Right? She could have anybody drug, beat, and rape. She just had to ask those guys. Get it? But there was guys that said they were fake FBI. They were FBI agents. Everybody's seen them. Said they worked my case. There was a couple that said they were the sheriffs. They weren't uniform either. The Stark County Sheriff's in uniform will tell you flat out they watch me. Okay? So the FBI agent that tortured me, more likely, is one of his religious group guys. I told my new husband, I said, with him confessing that outside, he's probably one of my rapists. He said, Karen, the way he acts towards you, I don't doubt it. The way he acts towards you, I don't doubt it. Okay? Today, last night I told you how I went through everything. Okay? I didn't realize how many people were listening. People showed up today. Outside Hartville, we listened to her. She almost died to save everyone. I know. Okay? We went in Hartville kitchen and we're eating. This lady at the other table was telling a guy, said, do you realize how not funny it is to get someone so stoned and then drug them up that bad and then tell them to say something so they wouldn't remember they're that stoned? He said, well, that one guy thinks they even used an electronic device to change it. Okay? Well, that's what they said in 18, that they had a voice alternator. They used it several times during the case. You can get them on Google Play. You can tape somebody's voice and then talk back through it so it sounds like you. Then they can get all kinds of devices on Amazon and other places. They've had voice alternators for years. They even copied that agent's voice for Karen's will. When Karen's out, she's only to hear Will's voice. And it echoed through the Bluetooth for a long time. Even did hear in Louisville. They were supposed to have a Karen app. Okay. All right. We go down to Dollar Tree. By Walmart 62. Now my phone's bugged. I go in this one aisle. There's 2 big guys. And he said that's the one that they're running around saying that she's too ugly for another, someone else. He said, I know, I seen her the other day and I told him to cut it out. It's not funny. He said, I stayed awake last night and I heard everything she said that happened. I didn't think it was that funny, that minister making up that lie because he thought she was following his son and then ordered her to be killed and did all this. He said, I told the drug lord and I'm going to be talking to him. He said, and those men we hired to watch her, I heard how they tortured her. He said, I'll be taking care of them. Yeah. I got home, the neighbors said nobody thought it was funny. That guy mentioned a drug lord. Well, in 18, they said a drug lord took care of me. In Louisville, everywhere. They said the king took care of me. Hmm? What part you didn't understand? Like they said, we realize what's going on. The neighbors, they said, do you realize how not funny it is? That guy over there is coming around telling everyone that a doctor taped her unaware. We listened to her how illegal it is for a doctor to tape anybody unaware. You go to jail either way. President Nixon couldn't bug an office. Watergate. Got impeached, almost went to jail. Can't set up listening to devices. It is cyber stalking. Okay? Like the prosecutor's office, they did the biggest mistake they did at your home. Well, like they said within the last week, these people's scenario of a doctor taping her unaware before is so illegal they don't even realize it. A doctor could never tape you unaware. HIPAA, privacy, they're federal laws. Non-disclosure of anything you say to them. They can't testify against you. They can't do anything. They're there for your medical behalf. And they're sworn to only take care of you and to do no harm. They can never even discuss you unless you give them permission. They can't even look somebody else up without signed consent or permission. Think about it. It has to be the patient. Think about that. HIPAA, right to privacy. No doctor could ever tell these people anything. Now, I want you to think of their scenario. That's how retarded they are. Absolute morons. Morons. They're saying a dirty doctor from before had her tape saying da 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 da. The doctor didn't totally say where those stuff I've heard. They've already confessed over and over again. Even last year in September of 24 up in Bueller's North Main, some lady said they're supposed to have her tape saying this. Well, they drugged her and told her to say it before. Nobody's allowed to say a word. They were admitting it up in Akron. February 2nd, 22, they were screaming on the streets of Canton. And then days afterwards, they were screaming on the streets of Louisville. This whole thing is a fiasco. Oh, when we were in Hartville Kitchen, we went to go upstairs. There was a bunch of men following me around. I looked at them. I just gave them a half smile. They were mad. She actually smiled at us. Would you rather me go? Well, she knows we're here. I mean, seriously. Well, today, because everything's bugged and they sold a login. That guy over in those ladies in the other apartment, the other ones were calling for that guy's arrest. He's going around telling everyone that some doctor taped me unaware saying all this perverted stuff. Okay, getting back to the law. If a doctor knows an evil crime is happening and someone's getting hurt by federal law, they have to tell the police. They can't tell them how they got it, but they have to tell. So they're saying this doctor knew of all these heinous crimes for years. Sat on him until Dave wanted a divorce. Was an accessory to him. See, like they said, either way, you go to jail. For cyber stalking, HIPAA, Privacy Acts. Cyber stalking. Oh, we're going to also go into drugs and told to say it. Oh, people were complaining that they were even trying to say they had sodium pentothal reports through the drugs and told to say it. That it wasn't even funny. People were talking about that today. How not funny was it that a doctor said they had sodium pentothal reports from a doctor? Doctors don't use it. It's illegal, outlawed in the country for years. Last place it was being used was lethal injections and executions, because it shuts down your airway. It's like you're trying to say anthrax made him make me lie. See, these people are so stupid they don't know what Google is. Now, that guy was part of where Lighthouse Tabernacle made fun of FBI agent John. He was part of defrauding. He was there from the beginning, so he knew they drugged me and told me to say it before. He knew that guy wasn't my doctor. And where it came out that Pete from the Ravenna Courthouse Friends with Ludic is just some guy saying he's a judge. I bet it's going to be, and I'm going to tell you what, I bet it's going to come down to that doctor isn't even a doctor. He's just some guy. Some agent showed up last week, looked at me and looked away, said, we all know they were using that guy to keep you drugged up there. Where Michelle's boyfriend that broke up with her when she confessed to him that she was part of having my skull bashed in, having me stabbed in the back, bashed in the back of the head, beaten, raped, and left for dead. She was part of that. And they were trying to either kill me or leave me brain dead and incompetent. And it didn't work. And he broke up with her. Told her he never want to speak to her again. And the reason why she don't know who that doctor is, it's not one of hers. He works for them. They lied. He's been telling all kinds of people. And then a couple days later, he was telling more people outside where I worked. And then that April 3rd, 25 in Sugar Creek, Dutch Valley, a heavyset white lady walked out. She was in there talking about Karen's will and stuff. I went on how, it's right on Google, how illegal it is for a doctor to tape you unaware. It's illegal for them to ask you crimes. They're only there for medical. It's illegal for them to disclose anything you said to them because of HIPAA violations. You guys all act like you don't live in the United States of America. These drug dealers punked everybody. Punked them. It's a scam. They told you it was a drug scam from the drug dealers, human trafficking people. It's a big drug scam. How many times? Even last year at this time, some investigators said if she ever goes to move away, we'll have to tell the local police the drug cartel's running scams on people. It's a drug scam. But yeah, I would own that doctor. That doctor, no matter what, would go to jail, like the investigators. These people don't have a legal leg to stand on. He's not one of my doctors. He works for them. So their scenario, these people went into an FBI agent's office, said, we're trying to kill her because he called her figure 15 years ago. And that doctor's like, hey ho, I'm with the killers. And you didn't think that looked fishy? I got fake sodium pentothal reports. We've been drugging her out and telling her to say lies and got photoshopping and washing yourself in the shower in another room. You know, they run around like they can actually do something with them. It's been 6.5 years. What happens? All they do is harass me. Why? Because it's a drug cartel. It was a drug cartel. Fourth Amendment in the Constitution, the right of the people to be safe and secure within your own person. Your places, your homes, your papers, and effects against all unreasonable searches or seizures shall not be violated. No searches, no seizures, but upon probable cause. Warranted. You have to have a court order. You can pull one out of your ass. They've hired Pete on his own. Warranted with the other affirmation of the people, places, or things to be searched or seized. Because you have a right to remain quiet, why can't they drug you? This racketeering is 20 years. Without the rape, the human trafficking, attempted extortion. They have like 100+ years for doing this. Selling kitty porn to my grandkids going potty. Life in federal. They even told people back in 19, anybody puts their name on it are going to end up in jail for it. These people have admitted to heinous crimes. That's evil. So can you pull out a court order out of your ass? Oh, and then they try to say an attorney did. They've hired Pete on his own. It's some guy. Okay? He's not an attorney. He's not a retired judge. He's some guy. Some guy. That's where that doctor that works for Pete, he works for him. And since Pete's just some guy, I bet that doctor is just some guy. I bet. And then you got to think a doctor giving people drugs to stab people with them in their sleep, in their home. My God, he's getting life in federal. Or lace strings so they could beat and rape them, drug them up and tell them to say stuff. Photoshop washing and cyber stalking and selling kitty porn. A doctor. My God. And then with the human traffickers. My God. See, like they said, they did not think this out. They did not realize how illegal what they're saying. And like an investigator said, the whole scenario of a doctor taping or before saying stuff is so ridiculous I wouldn't even listen to it. Exactly. It's illegal. Right on Google. Is it legal for a doctor to tape you unaware? No. It's illegal. So can they enter anything that's illegal? No, they're stalking tapes. Because it comes down to stalking. Where they tell you the people I have before are stalking tapes. Cyber stalking. Okay? And drug confessions. No doctor might ever ask me if I did crimes. You know, my doctor told me I needed to give up dairy to see if it helped my stomach. I told him I will not, and that's absolutely ridiculous. He asked me before I got married, are you having unprotected sex with your boyfriend? I know they were asking because, they want to make sure you don't get an STD. You know what I told him? It was none of their business. They asked me to keep a food diary, and I said I will not. That's stupid. They can make suggestions, but they're going to get their head bit off if I don't like it. 20 to 30 years ago, a bunch of doctors gave me the wrong medication, ripping me off, and almost killed me. They're there for medical, and that's... And tread softly. I don't take shit from doctors. They're there for medical and to help you with a medical problem. It'd be illegal for a doctor to even ask you of a crime. Does your doctor ask you if you committed a federal crime? No, because it's absurd. It's none of their damn business. And then the whole point of it is, you got to think, some weird doctor. Are you some kind of weirdo molester? You look at him and say, you got to be kidding me, right? That's sick. You're joking, right? And then you'd yell at him and call him and you're going to report him to how dare they even speak to you like that. It's inappropriate. Oh, very inappropriate. And they can lose their license for shit like that. See, you didn't think how legal this is for a doctor. They can't talk dirty stuff to you. And they're not going to ask you dirty questions like that. That's for criminal investigators. My doctor, if he would have ever said something to me, I would have looked at him and said, who do you think you are? You sicko and pervert, I'm reporting you. Just for even a question of such a sort. Like when I said, anybody would have screamed at him and walked out. No doctor would have dared do that. Because they can't just start talking perverted to you. Or making accusations. They are only there. And I'll tell you what, there has never been an accusation by any doctors of mine. My doctors are not breaking in homes, stalking people. They are not drugging people for fake confessions. They are not giving drugs to people to use on people to drug, beat, and rape people. And they're not photoshopping shower scenes and stocking tapes, and they're not selling kiddie porn. My God. It wasn't one of my doctors. Like they said, he works for them. So that reminds me. So that guy that's in my old apartment, another set of neighbors were complaining. That guy over there, we realized how illegal it is to say a doctor would tape her before. He's going around telling everyone. I know he is. Sheriff, where are you? Why haven't you arrested him? We all know it's a big drug scam. Why haven't you arrested him for saying he was part of the people of FBI agent John fell for that? Defrauding a federal agent? He said he was in my home. Like a CIA agent said? You can't even know of the tapes before while they were doing it. You can be put in jail as an accessory to kiddie porn. More than likely, since it said it was his religious group doing it to me, they're my rapist. And like Carl said, my new husband, I don't doubt it, the way he acts towards you. We double lock our doors. I may have to move because of rapists. And in town, I'll let you know, everybody needs to be keeping their door locked. His group sets up button cameras. His group breaks in and stabs ladies with date rape drugs. Tell them to say something stupid. They Photoshop shower scenes. They let men beat and rape you under drugs. And you wake up and you have no idea what happened. You got bruises all over you, throwing up and infected. I thought I was getting cancer from the dirty well water. You'll have no memory. They roofied my neighbor Mark in the bar. He told everybody he was an astronaut and tried to tell me he was a New York cop. He was stoned out of his mind. These people played with the U.S. Marshals kid twice, and she don't know what happened to her. My co-worker Dar got roofied and taken and raped. Don't even remember meeting him. See how not funny it is? I'm not the only one. Then last year, about this time, some guy in Belgium was talking to an investigator. They're supposed to have him taped saying stuff, and he's never talked to these people. So that guy telling all those neighbors, that he's part of a doctor drugging people for fake confessions, defrauding the FBI, selling kiddie porn, and part of human trafficking me. You're stupid to put your name on this. It's already documented it was a cartel. And that means you work for that Russian. Your group was the part that tortured me. Oh. He said he would be taking care of you for that. And those two older guys, they were telling everybody how ugly she was. He said, I told you, I know, I showed up the other day. I told you it's not funny them saying that about her. Oh, he's going to be going to the Russian drug lord. You know, the guy in Hartville adopted one of the human traffickers' kids. That were arrested up in Summit County. They worked for the Russian. A lot of people went to jail. Getting the idea who's doing this? That guy works for the Russian drug lord. He's no Christian. Would Christians do any of this? Christ do this? The man that died on the cross, hung there and bled for all humanity. Would he harm people? No. The Bible talks as the devil being the roaring lion, tossing to and fro who he can destroy. These people act like Satan himself. And I'm telling you what, Louisville, that guy living in my old apartment, he's part of the people selling kitty porn. He's part of the people raping people under drugs and drug confessions and photoshopping, washing, running a drug scam on somebody. You need to keep your doors locked, and you see him outside, you take your kids in so you don't eye him up and decide if he wants to put them in one of his little porn things. He's no Christian. Christian people don't act like this. They got God in their heart, and they fear God enough not to be part of it. Do you know, around me today, somebody said the guy that helped break my whole family apart said he didn't realize how much it would devastate everyone. They said that, where I had my grandson around me, that she's taking him out because he's not doing well. I know that. What'd you expect? We were a close-knit family. Close-knit. We were always having everybody over for dinners. Cookouts. Go out to eat with the family at least once a week. Go over to each other's houses. Sit around, the kids would play cards. The grandkids would play together. Played with my puppies that I had. I loved my life. I loved it. It was everything I ever wanted. And it's a shame. Dave would rather have a drug cartel life. And let these people try to kill his family. And that we didn't mean enough to him not to do this. You know what, where you say you broke everybody up? What if he would have stayed out of this? What would have happened if Dave actually just left? He would have paid a couple more $100 in alimony. That's it. I would have got maybe my puppies and a couple pieces of furniture he threw away. He lost everything he had in life. Trying to kill people, he lost everything. And being part of the drug cartel. You know, letting those men stab me with date rape drugs, lace my Diet Coke, and beat and rape me, and him hire men to rape me. That agent telling Apostolic Church of Barberton he knew I was being drug beat and raped and didn't care. That a federal police officer didn't care. Not on a recorded line. He met with all of them before he talked to me. Knew they were trying to kill me. Conspiracy to commit murder is a federal crime. And they confessed to a federal crime. Mocks me for this guy named Pete. Found out Dave hired him on his own. Where they say they had special permission. There's no such thing. It's cold hard court orders, honey. And only police and agency. Oh, attorney had it right. No, they didn't. And it's not an attorney. Just like he wasn't a retired judge from up there. It's some guy named Pete. Just like a doctor. He's not my doctors, because my doctors don't act like this. He works for Pete. Lying to people that I'm one of her doctors from before. It was never my doctor. Ever. Don't even know who he is. Even Michelle's boyfriend is telling people she don't even know who he is. He works for them. Even that lady down in Sugar Creek announced he's not my doctor. And they were mad that guy's telling on them for saying he was one of my doctors and he works for them. They lied. Just like that lady investigator on the phone. They do have him taped. That it's not even one of her doctors. He works for them, okay? Absolutely. FBI informed. Did you so quickly forget? The police watch me. Hi, guys. Where were you today? Okay. Just think if everybody would have stayed out of it. David had his $120,000 a year job. He would have retired in another year or two, maybe 3. We would have done shared parenting, shared grandparenting. Called each other probably idiots or stupid. Right? But everybody would have had everybody. He would have paid a little more alimony. I would have been remarried years ago. See, that's where those guys were talking. We heard all the people she went out with. If these people wouldn't have been around messing with me, I went out with retired sheriffs. I had ones on the line. You're beautiful. You move down here, I'll protect you. Business owners went out with police officers. They were talking, all those police officers that took her out were probably trying to find out what's going on. Honey, they have the FBI case. The police work it. That's where Maddie's friend, 2.5 hours away, knew the case. They got a hold of the U.S. Marshals. It's an FBI case. Karen around the house, Karen's will. FBI informed. It's documented and verified by the police. The FBI agent that returned my phone call from the hotline told on me for calling the FBI hotline before he talked to me. It's documented by the police. Agent John, are you done playing with the damn fools? I like my money. I'd like my money, please. I want to help my family. Like March 23rd, 23, the 2 FBI agents, been there since 18, came in. We told these people, stay out of it. We interviewed her whole family a long time ago. No one's ever seen anything. She's never hurt anyone. And it's just some lady thought she could make money out of this. Some lady. I think that some lady was at the Dutch Valley restaurant. I was found innocent of everything by the police in 18. And by Thanksgiving of 18, they already knew it was medical malpractice, fraud, and medication errors. And they already knew about the other lady using my insurance. And were those 2 agents that remind you of my son Joshie in the Belden office? Oh, we could use it for bait. I'm not bait. I was a little lady that called the FBI for help because I was scared out of my head. I had had several times in my life and I needed help. And instead, they fed me down and got all that surveillance and went and saved hundreds. You're going to say their life is worth more than mine. That sacrificing one to save hundreds is better. What makes my life any less? Most people get written accommodations. A thank you letter would be nice. You let me be tortured. People even talked this last week, they let them torture her so they could earn their trust, so they tell them where they were keeping those people. They sacrificed a victim. I would like my money. It wasn't your agent, you were sacrificed. You sacrificed a victim. Where they talked about in an Akron, the despicable act of law enforcement, turning women and children back over to drug dealers to get them. You got to think, they're following me around with body cams. With a court order for threatened attempt to life. And these people are coming up and saying they work for Judge Peters. And they're drug traders and human traffickers from Florida and relocating them to a resort area. They all work for the king from Texas. They are his men. Dave hired him and he's a drug lord. It's my God. Like they said, look at all these people they hired to hurt her. We could use her for bait. April 8th, 24. Or 23. April 8th, 23. Giant Eagle after the marshals did the big arrest on the February 14th, 23. April 8th, 23. I go in, there's two or three drug cartel guys in there. They came up to me if we'll use your case stand for trainer gang, tell them give your money, we're out of here. Those two agents laughed in their face. We actually did. Come on. I don't like playing monkey in the middle. Everybody beats on the monkey. I like my money. Information on Dave and the church is my ass. There's one thing over your abusive husband and his freaky friends and human traffickers. I like my money. I earned it. Like the lady investigator, she was part of a really big bust. They better pay her. It's actually legal not to. They can't stop it for the rest of my life. It's a protected custody, threat of life case for an FBI informant with money and immunity for life. Working the case and getting them information. He cannot ask anybody to stay quiet. He's only a hired police officer due to the freedom of speech it takes a judge. Then he's already told 1,000 people, and that makes it stupid. He's already told everyone. Like they said, he was just bullying you to get away with this. Made fun of me for that guy Pete, the scam of this doctor that works for them. Supposed to tape people unaware. Do you realize the lawsuit? Not only is it not admissible because it's illegal for them to do it, because they're stalking tapes. Had no right. See, then the whole thing of it is, he isn't one of my doctors. He's one of my rapists. And he works for Pete. And he was never one of my doctors. And they've already confessed. Like the investigator said, they didn't even realize how illegal of a scenario they said. No doctor can ever tape you unaware, no matter what. It's right on Google. That guy, the way he's run around trying to start a hate crime. These people have been around for the drugs and told to say it. Photoshopping and washing, framing, Melissa's lies, and mean games of pretend. To all these drug cartels, like they said, when people hear about my case, they're like, yeah, I'd love to work here and around the house. You gotta hold that under police surveillance. I was down in Carroll County. There was two sheriffs. They looked at me, and that Karen's will. The one we're supposed to keep an eye on if we see her out. There's a quarter. Heard there's a group of Freemasons caught with the human traffickers under police surveillance with a quarter. Oh boy, I can't wait to look around. Oh, they have Melissa telling the kids a lie, the kids stating that they made everything up, they were games of pretend. They have my whole family defending me. And these people admitting how they framed me. And then even made up this doctor scenario. That he works for them. They just lied. They lied about everything. It's a big punk. Y'all have been punked. Punked. June 23rd to July 4th or 23rd, they said they went to a party, and the life of the party, how they made fools out of everybody into helping out. They fooled them. Like to be a drug dealer's fool. That guy thinks you're fools, running around spreading his hate crime. He has not one bit of God in him. Tell you what, you guys keep him away from your kids. Because he helped sell kiddie porn to my grandkids. He is probably one of my rapists, and he was one of the ones defrauding that FBI agent. Him and his religious group are running scams on people with the drug cartel. He's probably one of my rapists. Like Carl said, the way he looks at you and the way he acts, I don't doubt he's one of your rapists. I'm scared living here. I like my money. Officer John and Mark, I drive around. I ask for you all the time. I need you. Help. my money should be on my card in the FBI Drug and Task Force in Canton. If it isn't, where they said that Agent John stole it the first day, you need to go to a judge and tell him. And then tell him all the things that happened to me. Get me help, please.